What's up, guys? FergalBC talking some Tinyman experiment today. That's right, we've got an experiment. I'm going to show you how much I made on Tinyman within a week's time period, staking one of its LPs. This is part of our experiment series. I'm actually thinking about doing one on HBAR 2, a saucer swap, so I'm looking into that right now. And I've got Algorand Casino experiment results coming up soon too, so we'll probably talk about that maybe later this week or early next week, so we'll look at that. By the way, guys, if you like these experiments, you like Truth in Crypto, please hit that like and subscribe button. As always, you don't have to smash it. You can just press it ever so gently. It works just fine that way too. Like I said, we do the experiment, we bring you the truth, because my whole thing with crypto is like, I want to find out whether this stuff actually works or not. Nothing frustrated me more than watching a video, someone talking about how great something is, and they don't tell you like all the little pitfalls that come along. So that's what we do here. We give you the full story, and we're gonna look at that with Tinyman today. So let's take a look here, actually. Okay, so this is the USDC algo pool on Tinyman. So actually this is really interesting because I just took profits. There's already 42 cents in the pool since this morning. But here's my daily earning averages. This is all over the place, actually. This is wrong. So, but this is how much is in the pool. It's 6,000 tokens right now. It's about, yeah, here we go. So it's $5,023.61. That has changed over time. That's really important to keep in mind. Now there's two ways to earn, and the reason my experiment is only 6 days is because I had been tracking this for a while, and I realized there's actually tiny rewards as well as algo rewards. So there's a new cycle starting, but it's been about, well, we'll show you the charts in a second here. But basically the bottom line is I've been making a little under $5 a day. That is at current Algorand prices, which has dropped a little since you can see up here in the corner, just under 12 cents right now. For most of it, it went from, well, let's look at the chart. We'll look at the chart in a second. But basically every day I've been getting Algorand rewards and tiny token rewards. Tiny is the new token for Tinyman that they just launched. If you used Tinyman over the course of its time, you got an airdrop depending on how much you used Tinyman, so it's pretty useful. It's basically free money. In fact, I can show you that's a bad page to go to. I'll go to the governance page. So this is how much, oh, that's the rewards. Yeah, this is this here on the left. This is how much Tiny I was given for having participated in Tiny, and I went ahead and staked it. This is the power weight. That's how much of the total pool I have, my voting power basically. And then this is the rewards APR, and this is how much I'm getting. This is how much rewards I've received so far. So getting close to the halfway mark for what I staked already, which was only a couple months ago. So that's pretty impressive. That means it was probably a good idea to stake, but I'm not putting, so I'm getting 211, the next one, which is about a day from now, a day and 7 hours. So realistically, probably Thursday morning, I'll deal with this. Made about 56 bucks in Tiny so far. Remember, this is from coins I did almost nothing for except for to have been using the Tiny platform. Anyway, I only bring that up because I am now earning in Tiny as well as Algorand. So let's look at the chart now. Okay, so here's the chart from our experiment. Unfortunately, it's a little bit big. It's going to be a little awkward, I understand, but yeah, here's the chart. And this is the Algorand price that I've earned every day. It's gone from, so an Algorand is on the bottom, Tiny is on the top, and then this is the total that I earned every day. So as you can see, it started off at 478. It got up to as high as 486 and down to 453. Now this is, Algorand was just under 14 cents. And you know, this last one, it was about 12 and a half. So we've gone about a cent and a half down, and this is how much it impacts it, which is, you know, not nothing, but it's not a huge drop, right? You can see the biggest drop is in Algorand. Tiny, or actually is in Algorand. I think Tiny rewards stayed pretty steady. They kind of fluctuated a little more, but it started off at 237, ended at 232. So what I wanted to see is like, how much could you reliably make? And this is at pretty low levels for Algorand. We're going to see Algorand pump up a little more, as we're going to see all coins pump up in the bull run. And that's something to keep in mind. Now, one thing to note is that at the very start on 826, my pool amount was almost 5,500. And the pool amount dropped at the end to 5,100. So that's quite a drop. As you can probably guess, because this is what, about a little under 30 bucks, somewhere between 25 and 30. And this is something I've talked about with LPs that you have to be really careful of. The total amount will drop much, much more than the amount you're earning. So here's how you think about this. By the way, this is without pool fees. I want to make that clear. This is without pool fees. This is just, so the pool, the reason I didn't include the pool, although I can tell you that amount, and I will in a second, the reason I didn't include the pool is because that gets automatically injected back into your LP. So that's added every time you do a transaction, it gets automatically added back in. But this is the amount, you get the rewards, they go to your wallet, I could turn around, send them to Coinbase, flip them for dollars, and like that's money, that's spending money, right? So my whole point is, the reason I'm interested in this is I thought if you could get this up to, imagine if I 10x this and I'm earning like $40 a day, well, that's a pretty good chunk of change coming in every day that I could be putting towards bills and stuff, right? So helping fund the channel, basically by kind of like building an endowment for myself. And someone else could do this too. The idea is like, well, how much would you need to retire off of this? For some people, 20x this. So if you had about 100,000 in there, you would be, some in higher cost of living area, you might be funding yourself totally. For me, $50 a day would exactly cover my bills, but it would cover most of them. But I have other sources of income coming in too. And this is the kind of thing I think could help you quit your day job. But you got to be really careful. Like I said, my point is, like, if you have this money coming in every day, you don't necessarily care what the LP amount is, but it will matter, or it can matter if you, when you have to end the cycle. Because let's switch back for a second. Go to, well, for example, this goes till the October 14th. Now, one of the reasons I like the USDC algo pool is there's pretty much always been a USDC algo farming pool. So I don't have to worry about the price when I pull out, if that makes sense. Because if I was in a different pool, that pool might not exist for farming program next time. Another thing to think about too, a lot of these are targeted DeFi rewards, so you got to be careful with that. If they're part of the governance program, that might be going away once node incentives go live. So it's something to keep in mind as well too. But if you're just trying to grow your account, sometimes you'll be disappointed because if the price drops enough, and part of the reason I like USDC Algo too is because it has at least one stable pair. Once you get two non-stable coins, the fluctuations can be pretty wild. Especially so the tiny one, so I'm in this tiny one as well. And the only reason I'm comfortable with this tiny algo one is because this is all tiny that I earned through the program. This is none of my own money in this. This is just basically playing with house funds, if that makes sense. But otherwise, from my experiments before, I found that going for at least one stable is great. If you can get two stables, that's great, because they're going to be what they're going to be worth at the beginning and at the end. So you won't have to sell. But this one's nice because there's always a farming program for USDC algo. You're always earning. Yeah, so this says daily average earnings 462. I don't know why it says that. It's definitely not true. And I've noticed this number wildly fluctuates every day. I don't think it's working correctly, because over time it should stabilize. If it's taking averages over time, it might be because, well, no, this pool's not new. This pool's not new. I don't know where that, some days it used to match kind of what my earnings were, which it just changed again, as you can see. Apparently this is getting used a lot today because this is already up to 47 cents. What I was typically getting about between 60 and $1.47, it looks like. Yeah, I see as low as 69, 66 actually. But I think about 80 some cents is usually pretty typical. So these earnings come from people using the pool. So if people exchange between Algo and USDC, you get a little cut of that transaction. That's where that comes from. So yeah, so back to our chart. Yeah, this is what you can expect on about $5,000 worth of USDC algo, in the pool, with about $5 a day, a little under, and this will go up as the price of algo changes. And it's also important to keep in mind the percentage changes depending on how many people are in the pool and what you have versus the other people do. So that's also a very important point to keep in mind. But from what I've found, this has been pretty steady. Now, the other thing is this is including tiny rewards. So this bottom amount is more like what you would earn on $5,000 just from algo rewards. Now, I don't know how long those tiny rewards are going to be around. I just started a second cycle and they seem to be going in 1 month cycles. So that's something important to keep in mind. I started a new cycle and it hasn't kicked in yet, but it seems to be a little less than last time. Instead of between 60 and 62 tiny, I seem to be earning about 54 on this next cycle. So there are a lot of factors. So I think the best way to think about this is that you could kind of set up Tinyman. I think you could kind of set up sort of an endowment for yourself to help you pay your bills if you wanted to go that route. As far as growth, it's hard to say because, like I said, the price of the coin can erase your gains, but then it can also enhance them if it goes up. So you're still very locked into your price fluctuations. But if you just hold the pool and you're worried about the income's like somewhat steady. But I wouldn't want to rely on, I need $1,500 a month, or I need $500 extra a month, so I'm going to get this exact amount and that's what I'm going to get. That would be really, really dangerous. But overall, yeah, I like the way Tinyman works. I think it's pretty functional. I like the way the site works, and I wanted to do this little experiment to show how it goes. Maybe I'll in a month, I'll do another week and just see like how that compares to this week. I think it would be kind of interesting to see. But yeah, what's your experience with Tinyman? Do you have an LP that you like better that you use? And let me know how that goes. And let me know what your plan is for the LP. I want to hear like what your plan is. Are you just focusing on growth, or are you trying to generate some income? One thing I will say, it's actually, to my surprise, it's been more reliable than, say, Lofty. Oh, I should say the percentages. I didn't say the percentages. They've tended to be around 32, 33% APY, projected out per day with the Algo Tiny rewards. Adding pool in, that's driven it to the high 30s, around 38 to sometimes 40%, depending on the pool. And like I said, those pool fees like fluctuate a lot. And also, you could say, okay, I got 86 cents, so I'm going to take 86 cents of pool tokens out of the thing. But I would, if I were doing that, I would just let the pool grow the pool rewards grow your nest egg there, slowly but surely. Just add more coins and just take the rewards for. I've been putting the rewards back in. I'm not at the stage where I want to pull those out, so I'd rather like grow the pool tokens, so to speak. But the idea is I like the idea of having like another income source. So this could be like part of like a multi-income source. Like say if you had a YouTube channel and a newsletter, not to make any specific examples, that would be a good way to kind of supplement your income. But I would be a little nervous on like just flat out living on this, just because you never know. That having like an extra source is always an extra source of income that you could draw on, but maybe don't need to, or it's substantially more than what you have planned for it. I think that's kind of the idea here. So yeah, like I said, let me know what you think in the comments below. And otherwise, stay safe out there. I'm FrugalVC, and as always, I'll see you in the future. Thank you.